Okay. Now that we have it, I'm gonna start the video back where it kicked everybody off, but I'm gonna start it anyway, y'all. The knock of death.
Viewer discretion is advised for this. Let's listen in and watch this body cam footage.
Like right after it, but I wasn't sure where it came from. Okay. And I couldn't call, I didn't want to call the police. And,
Which room is it?
1401.
1401, okay.
1401. But the girl sounded scared, the one that called. She was like, it sounds like it's getting really out of hand.
So it's hit number 4, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. You mean fair? We stand out there and direct the other deputy that's coming to this area?
It's not, you're going to go to the 4th floor and it's going to be on this side.
Gotcha.
Y'all hear Karen giving the exact apartment? She's giving the exact apartment as if she knows it 100%, no doubt. Okay? On the way up the elevator. 13.
312-111. Three 12-111.
Listening. He hears nothing. Ready to knock. Listen some more. Do you see what he's doing?
Mm-hmm. Is that the killer?
It's the police. If you see he knocks and he moves to the side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He knocks and he moves. What would you do if somebody knocked and moved at your door and you didn't see nobody, but they kept knocking?
I would go get my weapon and then call 911.
Okay.
But I wouldn't stay at the door.
Right. Okay.
Sheriff's office, open the door.
Knocks again and moves.
Oh, the
Sheriff's office, open the
officers
door.
usually do that though. So he's a real officer. Oh my God.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun! It's over there. Drop the gun!
All right, that was some very disturbing images there.
You want to hear the rest of the newscast?
Can we rewind that a little bit, please?
Okay, can you, I was just going to say, can you rewind it? So is that actually a sheriff or that's just a killer?
That's the deputy. Police officer.
Okay.
This is what
Sheriff's office, open the door. Sheriff's office, open the door. Step out. Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Okay. You see the weapon?
He shoots him and then say drop the gun?
Right. Not only that, look at how that weapon is held. His finger is above the weapon. He's got one hand up. Like, hold on. This is a U.S. airman, meaning he served
Wow.
in the military. I
Wow.
mean, I know it's shoot or be shoot or be killed, but goodness, you're knocking at the man's door and you're moving to the side. He can't see who's out there. Did they forget what kind of world we live in?
And what was his point of moving to the side anyway?
I'm. Can I
As
tell you?
dispute.
Or is their reason because they knocked and moved to the side. I didn't know the guy was an officer, but they knocked and moved to the side just in case if someone is shooting, come up and start shooting
Okay.
through the door.
Right.
So they'll knock and move to the side
But
for
I
their
mean, why did
protection.
he immediately like go to the door, beating on the door? The guy opens the door, then you just start shooting. You didn't
This is
give him
why.
a chance at
He
all.
shot him and then say drop the gun. He was supposed
Right.
to say drop the gun and
Right.
then shoot.
Okay. So they're gonna. You know that this is going to be called justifiable.
We're all some stuff in her.
This is why. This is
For this, let's listen in and watch
this is
this
why.
body cam footage.
We're all some stuff in her. Like right after it, but I wasn't sure where it came from.
Okay.
And I couldn't call, like, I didn't want to call the police and, like,
Which room is it?
1401.
1401. Okay.
1401. But the girl sounded scared, the one that called. She said, she was like, it sounds like it's getting really out of hand.
So it's hit number 4, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. You be fair, we stand out there and direct the other deputy that's coming to this area?
It's not, you're going to go to the fourth floor and it's going to be on this side.
Gotcha.
That's why she wasn't sure where it was coming from. But instead of her not giving a specific front door, she gave him that man's front door.
Wow.
What was she saying? Because it was a lot of noise, so I couldn't hear what she was saying. What was she saying?
She was telling him that it was a front door. The girl called. She was scared. He said it was getting out of hand. Hold on, I'm gonna go back because so we can read what she's saying.
Okay.
Okay.
For this, let's listen in and watch this body cam footage.
Was advised.
Okay.
We're all some stuff.
It's like you stupid B word and all this other stuff. And I heard a slap.
Okay.
Hold on.
And other stuff. Okay, I'm reading it.
Right after that, I can't take the thing. I probably wasn't sure where it came from. Can't really see it because that's not mine. That's theirs.
Yeah, she said she wasn't sure where it came from.
Right. Okay.
After it, but I wasn't sure where it came from.
Okay.
And I couldn't call, like,
I couldn't.
want to call the police and, like,
Which room is it?
1401.
1401. Okay.
So my question is,
1401.
if she wasn't sure where it came from, why did she give them this boy's exact room?
Maybe
That's right.
she went and started listening. I don't know.
He okay, so the story, let me go back to the end of the movie.
But the girl sounded scared, the one that called. She said, she was like, it sounds like it's getting really out of hand.
So it's hit number 4, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. You be fair, we stand out there and direct the other deputy that's coming to this area?
It's not, you're going to go to the fourth floor and it's going to be on this side.
Robbie, read the chat.
Huh?
Look at what the lady told you in the chat. Hold on. Her name
Thank
is
you, whoever wrote the
Dimitri.
Did she say
She
if
was
you
like, okay,
notice,
let me read it.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
If you notice on the elevator, it said floor 3, but she told him 4th floor. So he got off on the wrong floor.
Yeah, but he went to 14. I mean, yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh, wow.
Rewind it back so we can see.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But let me say, hey, Brittany Davis, Queen Dree, that's who's up here with me, and Dimitri Jenkins. Thank you for coming.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
baby. I'm gonna now.
Okay.
I want us to
Hey,
start
Britt.
looking at stuff like this because there's so much going on with our own people and women. I'm still gonna get back to the divestors. I haven't forgot about that one, you guys. It's so much with that one. I haven't had a chance to put it all together. It's gonna be sloppy.
Yeah, guys, because this is our first time watching it. This your first time
For
too,
this,
Dree,
let's
right?
listen in and watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I just watched the little part where it said the knock of death. So I
Mm-hmm.
never watched the whole body cam. But when I do these, if I see a story and I know that it's directed towards what we're going to talk about, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
watch it with you guys because I want to be surprised and shocked for the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
like when we used to do it
Oh my,
like that.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's so real like that because you get everybody's.
You get our real
Our
reaction.
real
Um,
reaction.
yeah.
Mhm. Yep. Okay, so let's look at this elevator. Thank you, Demetria. Dimitri, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Watch this body cam footage.
Okay.
Ordered all this other stuff and I heard a slap, like right after it, but I wasn't sure where it came from.
Okay.
And I couldn't call, like, I didn't want to call the police and, like, you know,
Which room is it?
1401.
1401. Okay.
1401. But the girl sounded scared, the one that called. She said, she was like, it sounds like it's getting really out of hand.
So it's hit number 4, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. You mean fair? We stand out there and direct the deputy that's coming to this area.
It's not, you're going to go to the fourth floor and it's going to be on this side.
Gotcha.
Oh my
Oh my
God!
God, Dimitri.
Oh my freaking God!
So it stops on
312
3.
111.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my
Thank
God!
you for that, Dimitri.
Okay, let's see if
Oh
he
my
go up some
goodness!
stairs. So he goes to 1301. Because they
Oh
say
my goodness!
1312 to
Oh my
1111.
goodness! Oh my goodness! Look! Oh my goodness, y'all! I'm trying
The
to.
third floor opens up. We gotta see if he walks up some stairs
312
or
111.
something.
Oh my goodness, y'all! I'm trying to get ready.
Yeah, it says 3 and it
Yeah,
opens.
he definitely gets out on 3.
312 111.
Oh my God!
312 111.
But why is he saying 312 to 1111?
That's the police report.
I don't know, but she told him 1401, I thought.
Yeah.
She did. She did say 1401. And then he repeated it
Yeah, I'm looking
after
at the
she said
doors.
So
it.
what the hell he get
I'm finna
13?
look and see if he goes to 1401 or how does the numbers go. Because is he determining
Oh, that
which
does
one
say
is
1401.
1401? Well, there goes some stairs right there, y'all. Is he gonna go up
But
the stairs?
No,
Dimitri
he did.
said
It
that
says
she
1401 on that
okay,
door.
I'll tell y'all when we pause.
Wait,
Okay,
it says 1401, y'all.
I
I
know, but
saw it.
Dimitri said she thinks that all the rooms have the same number or something.
No,
Is
it says 1401. It says
okay.
1401.
Okay.
Or maybe the third floor. It depends on how the building is set up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe it covers one side is for the threes and the other end is for the fours. Who knows? But that does say 1401 right there. So he's
But
at the right door.
downstairs, yeah, but look, check this out. Wait, listen to this part. Let me see. I think she told him if I push the fourth floor or something like that. And she said, uh-huh. Hold on.
Question is advised for this. Let's listen in and watch this body cam footage.
Ordered all this other stuff and I heard a slap, like right after it, but I wasn't sure where it came from.
Okay.
And I couldn't call, like, I didn't want to call the police and, like, you know,
Which room is it?
1401.
1401. Okay.
1401. But the girl sounded scared, the one that called. She said, she was like, it sounds like it's getting really out of hand.
So it's hit number 4, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. You mean fair? We stand out there and direct the deputy that's coming to this area.
It's not, you're going to go to the fourth floor and it's going to be on this side.
Gotcha.
He told him the fourth floor.
Exactly. She
And
said
he got
go up
on.
to the 4th floor.
Yeah. So
And
it
she
sounds
said something about the second or something I heard her say.
okay, let's see. Yeah, I did say she said something to it. Second
She said
something.
something
Before, huh?
Yeah.
about how to get there.
Okay, so here we go.
Okay. You mean fair? We stand out there and direct the other deputy that's coming to this area.
It's not you're gonna go to the fourth floor and it's gonna be on this side.
Gotcha.
On this side.
Yeah, you're gonna go to the 4th floor. It's gonna be on the 2nd something.
Yeah, she.
It's not you're gonna go to the fourth floor and it's gonna be on this side.
Gotcha.
She said if you go to the 4th floor, it's gonna be on the other side.
On this side, yeah.
She told him, the lady in the comments said she told him to go to the second deck. To the second deck.
312-111.
Oh, okay. I
Okay,
see
so
2,
Robbie,
3.
read the comments real quick.
Okay, let me go to there.
Well, we know he's at the right apartment, y'all, because it says
I don't.
clearly 1401 on the
I think.
outside.
Yeah, see, that's what it says. I think all the rooms have the same numbers but different floors. That's my assumption, right? Same number but different floors. Second deck.
Because
Oh,
why would she say go up to the 4th floor, Elle?
and it's going to be on this
She
side.
probably, you know how, okay, because you know how because the police don't know the layout of the building. So she's probably was saying, go to this floor and then go to the right, or go to the second deck and then you're going to go around. She was just giving him how to get there. You know how when you go into something and you don't know which way to go, so they'll tell you, okay, go upstairs, you're going to hang a right and then go to the left.
Right. But
Right.
obviously, see, she sent him to the wrong place because that's not where the.
I don't think all the that doesn't make sense though. I don't believe all the apartments say 1401.
Yeah.
It at the beginning of it when he's going into the apartment complex, I see some numbers on the building and it's like telling you which numbers are which. If you
Okay, let me
wanted to
go
go
to that.
back, we could probably zoom
Let me
in on
go to-
that.
Brit, he pressed number 3 on the panel.
No, he pressed the 4.
Oh, he
The
pressed
4
the
was
4th
lit up.
floor?
Yeah, the
I don't
4.
know what he pressed. I
We're
couldn't
going to see
see.
the 4 was lit up. Okay.
Okay, we're going to watch it again, y'all.
Let's listen in and watch this body cam footage.
Ordering all this other stuff and her like right after it, but I wasn't sure where it came from.
Okay, I'm
And I
gonna
couldn't
show y'all where you see the
Are
numbers
those
at.
the numbers you're talking about?
Where?
The numbers.
Go ahead a little bit
Which room is
more.
it?
14.
Those numbers right there. That's on the
Okay,
wall.
that's 11. Yeah, that says 11 to something.
So the numbers aren't all 1401. It can't.
No.
They can't be. Yeah, those numbers aren't all 1401. Because that doesn't make sense.
Which
How
room
could
is it?
every apartment be 1401?
Yeah,
But
see,
it's
that says
a
11.
second deck. But then it's a whole bunch of apartments that's 1401. So that don't make sense.
I wonder what's the name.
1401.
1401. Okay.
Unless the footage skips and he doesn't show him going up the stairs or
But the
something.
girl
Well,
sounded scared, the one that called. She was like,
hold on.
We gotta listen to what she's saying.
He's not going to.
Can you take Brittany pin comment down so we can try to see the word?
Okay. She should have went with him.
It say
or something.
1401.
Yeah.
But remember, he told her to stay down there to direct the other deputy that's coming.
Or she could have said, that make sure you're on floor 4 because floor 3 has the same number. Something.
She did tell him. She told him how to get
She
there
told him
though.
4th floor, but I mean, she couldn't have been no more clear than that. 4th floor, 1401 on this side. I wish I knew which side she said.
But you know what? Outside the apartment, y'all, it says 1401.
It sure does.
It
Plain
says
as day.
1401. So I believe he's at the right apartment.
Right.
Okay, I want to say this. When Dimitri, I'm sorry, y'all. I got
It's okay.
I got her comment confused. I thought that she was saying all the numbers on the doors were the same. So I'm
No.
the one that said that.
It's okay.
Yeah,
We was
that's okay.
confused because we're confused of how 1401 is on the 3rd floor.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
That's
gonna
what we
mute
need
real
to
quick.
check.
She did say, she said, I think all the rooms have the same numbers but different floors. That's my assumption.
Second deck. Yeah, okay. Can you tell which number is on the elevator panel? Yeah, he pressed the 3. Oh, we showed you that already, huh? Okay, so
Did it actually say 3? Did y'all
yeah,
see the number
yeah.
3?
I'm gonna go back and show you. It
I
said
know
after.
on the elevator it said 3 that he got off on, but I wanted to know what number did he press?
Oh,
She
4.
said
Yeah,
she
What
was
button?
saying she think it's a 1401 on every floor. That's what she think.
maybe see.
No,
It
that
maybe be a
it can't be
1401.
no 14 on 1 on
Which room is
that
it?
Okay,
doesn't make sense.
1401.
I, let's see.
1401. Okay.
But these hotels are set up crazy. I'm telling you.
1401.
Is this a
But the girl sounded
hotel
scared, the one that
or
called.
an apartment
She said she was
complex?
Oh,
It
it's
sounds like
apartments.
a
Okay,
hotel,
apartments.
Yeah,
but
because I was
but
gonna say this
yeah.
is like an
Well,
apartment,
yeah, it's apartments because she's a complex.
like it's getting out
like
of
the
it. Sounds like it's
manager.
getting really out of
Yeah.
hand.
So it's hit number 4, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. You mean fair? We stand out there and direct the other deputy that's coming to this area.
It's not you're gonna go to the fourth floor and it's gonna be on this side.
Gotcha.
She said, "Go to the fourth floor." Then he
Yeah, he
presses,
tells her to stay down there.
yeah, see, and he presses the number 4. Go back just a little bit. The 4 is pressed.
Yeah, I was trying to see what number did he press on that
It's
thing.
not you're gonna go to the fourth floor and it's gonna be on this side.
Gotcha.
Unless they don't have. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can y'all see that, or let me try to make it a little bit bigger?
There and direct the other deputy that's coming to this area.
It's not you're gonna go to the fourth floor and it's gonna be on this side.
Is that a number 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me. I can't catch you. Hold on. Let me catch you. Let's try.
It's not you're gonna go to the fourth floor and it's gonna be on this side.
Gotcha.
He already pressed it. What happened? I skipped a little bit. You know, on here, you don't have to go back. You literally have to take the thing and go back.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. So
See, y'all seen it a little bit? I'm trying y'all.
yeah.
She said she been to a
Deputy that's coming to this area.
It's not
apartment
you're
complex.
gonna go to the fourth floor and it's gonna be on this side.
Gotcha.
There we go.
Yep.
See, he's actually
He
pressing
pressed 4. Yeah.
Maybe the elevator just make it look like it maybe the elevator's off. Who knows? But he went to let's see what if they say the news, say it's gonna
go past the situation.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now.
You want me to go past that?
Sheriff's office, open the door. Step out.
What in the world?
Drop the gun! Drop the gun! He's over there. Drop the gun! Go ahead. All right, that was some very disturbing images there of this body cam footage that was released. And I did want to show you that in full context, just how quickly it all went down last Friday afternoon. Of course, they were talking about a deputy responding to a call of a disturbance in progress, quote, reacted in self-defense after he encountered a 23-year-old man armed with a gun. I also want to put up this statement here on Live Now from Fox from the Okaloosa County Sheriff talking about all of us at the Sheriff's Office saddened about the fatal officer-involved shooting over the weekend. Late Friday afternoon, our deputy responded to a call of a disturbance in progress where he encountered an armed man. The deputy shot the man who later succumbed to his injuries. I immediately placed the deputy on administrative leave and have asked the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to conduct the investigation that is required in such incidents. The state attorney's office will also conduct an independent review. At this time, we humbly ask for our community's patience as we work to determine the facts that resulted in this tragic event. I do want to bring into the conversation right now here on Live Now from Fox civil rights attorney Benjamin Taylor. Thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. And of course, potentially the first time you're seeing that body cam video like so many of us are. What's our initial reaction? What's our initial thoughts when you look at that video?
I mean, when you watch the video, you see a young man, a U.S. airman inside his house. You see the sheriff deputy knock on the door. So it makes you wonder what caused the sheriff deputy to shoot so quickly. You do see the young man allegedly have a gun in his hand, but the gun is pointing down. So more facts will come out, but the body camera for this case is the main thing here. The knock on the door was very quickly.
Yep.
The shots were very quickly. So whenever you're inside your house, your home is your castle. Everybody understands that. And people should be protected and feel safe inside their home. And this U.S. airman would probably assume, would not even know who this person is outside unless they announce that they're law enforcement. So the facts here are going to come down to whether or not the law enforcement agent had the ability and the right to be able to hold the gun out and shoot him, and whether the U.S. airman inside his house had the right to have a gun inside his house to protect himself too.
Yeah, and of course, his family has come out and said he illegally owned that gun. And of course, 23-year-old U.S. airman serving there in the Air Force as well. And we were talking about some of the statements coming out from Ben Crump, the civil rights attorney, as well, talking about.
It sounded like he said illegally owned the gun, but he owned it legally because he can't. As an airman, he can't get an illegal gun. It's no use because.
Wait. If you can own a gun illegally. I mean, let's just say if I get a gun in my household, right?
Yeah.
From somebody, you would think that the gun is legal because who my partner is, but it's the possibility I can have a gun in here that's not supposed to be in here. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Just because he's in the Air Force doesn't mean, I'm not saying that his gun was illegal. That's what the news say. But just because you're in the Air Force, that doesn't mean your gun is all your guns, because he could have multiple guns, are going to be registered and legal.
Right. But do you have to register every gun that you get?
Yeah, you're supposed to. You're supposed to register every firearm because every firearm has different serial numbers on it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wait, so did he say legal?
He said
I thought he
illegal.
said-
Rewind it. He said illegal. Did he say
But
legal or illegal?
It sounded like he said illegal, but I think he meant legally.
Okay, rewind it so we can hear.
Person is outside unless they announce that they're law enforcement. So the facts here are going to come down to whether or not the law enforcement agent had the ability and the right to be able to hold the gun out and shoot him, and whether the U.S. airman inside his house had the right to have a gun inside his house to protect himself too.
Yeah, and of course, his family has come out and said he illegally owned that gun. And of course, 23-year-old U.S. airman serving there in the Air Force as well. And we were talking about some of the statements coming out from Ben Crump, the civil rights attorney, as well, talking about potentially the wrong apartment, even though the leasing agent did say 1401. And you can see in that body cam footage that they are at apartment 1401. I do have to ask you, because it's a singular officer. It's one person there going up to this disturbance. We don't really hear a ton of commotion, not really a disturbance at all. Potentially, why did the officer not wait for backup? Is that a component of this?
Yes, I mean, the whole case will be look at the totality of the circumstances, meaning like, was anybody else in the apartment? If there was an alleged fight inside the apartment, but there's nobody else inside the apartment when the officer arrives, what's the sense of urgency to not wait for backup and to, pretty much knock on the door and pull the trigger and shoot? So all the facts have to come out, of course, but the fact that if nobody else is in the apartment and this young airman lives there and rightfully lives there, is there a sense of urgency not to wait for other backups to come to make sure that everybody's safe before you go into somebody's house? Because anybody would know that if somebody knocks on your door, you're gonna be a little bit suspicious, right?
Right.
And you don't know who is outside. So you might grab your weapon just to protect yourself. So if the U.S. airman had every right to grab his weapon, that's fine. But did the officer have a right to actually shoot the U.S. airman inside his apartment? And that's what the case is going to come down to.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about this because he knocked on the door the first time, didn't really announce himself, may not have felt like he needed to. The second and third time, he did say sheriff's office as well. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that is a component as well? That could be a factor.
Yeah, it's going to be a factor whether or not the airman knew that this was a sheriff's officer. Unfortunately, the airman is dead, so he can't testify anymore. But if there's any other witnesses that heard him say that or heard it on the body camera to say, I am law enforcement, let me in. Even though they're law enforcement, they're outside the door. Did this law enforcement have a warrant to enter? Did they have the right to go inside the house? It looks like he might have shot him outside the apartment, not going inside. But still, when your home is your castle and you have every right to be safe inside your house. So it's a higher level when law enforcement comes inside your house and shoots you versus outside on the streets.
Yeah, and I do want to ask you about another kind of fact of this case. Of course, the 23-year-old U.S. airman there serving as well. I want to put up just his image as well, as the Air Force's first Special Operations Wing said his priorities are providing casualty affairs to the family, supporting the squadron during this very tragic time. Will the U.S. government, will the Air Force, they be involved in this investigation at all, since it's involving one of their personnel?
Yes, anytime something happens to a United States official, whether or not it's an airman, a post office official, any federal government official, the United States Air Force, United States government, Department of Justice can always come in and do their own investigation to make sure that everything is done fairly and accurately and correctly. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Department of Justice comes in to help out the state of Florida in this investigation. Yeah,
and the state of Florida is another part that I want to get into, because the states have different laws and regulations. Florida is very strong on their maybe castle doctrine and other things like that. How can that play a role in terms of gun ownership, in terms of having your home and being inside your home versus another state or different states?
Yes, Florida has the strong stand your ground laws, and your home is your castle, meaning that if you're inside your house, you have a right to protect yourself from any intruders or anybody who's coming into your house that you don't know. In this situation, the U.S. airman might not have known that this person was law enforcement, might not even heard the announcement of law enforcement if the law enforcement agent did say, I am law enforcement. So all that will come into play here, but being inside your house will be a big issue. Him being inside his apartment complex, being shot inside of the apartment complex, it will become a big issue in the criminal investigation. Right now, this officer will be criminally investigated to see whether or not charges will be brought against him as far as manslaughter or murder case in the future, whether or not this officer will have to face trial.
Yeah, and potentially what charges, if they do file, what kind of charges are this officer, could they be looking at?
I mean, there's a plethora of charges. Assault, first-degree murder, second-degree murder, manslaughter. All types of murder charges could be faced against this officer, because anytime you kill a person, even if it's by accident or a negligent homicide, to be a case. That means you negligently shot your weapon and killed somebody. So all of those are on the board and the table for the prosecutor prosecuting this officer in the future if they find out they want to move forward with this case.
Yeah, and the Okaloosa sheriff, they were talking about how they want accountability, potentially justice, and they're going to look into this, investigate it fairly coming up. And I do want to ask you, because sometimes we see a lot of these incidents happen around the country, and it brings back memories, some tragic memories, some traumatic memories as well. For you, does that, and kind of what are we looking at there in a maybe larger picture outside of just this incident, outside of what's going on in this country?
Let's see what
people might remember Breonna Taylor a couple of years ago. Breonna Taylor was a young woman who was shot inside her house in Kentucky. So this kind of brings back to memory. And in Dallas, there was a young man a couple of years ago shot by an officer inside the apartment complex. So a lot of this this brings back memories of other cases where people are being shot inside their house. When you're inside your home, you have every right to protect yourself and to feel safe. So law enforcement definitely has to use a higher level of scrutiny and be very careful when entering or knocking on somebody's door, especially if they don't really know all the facts. Here, we're still trying to learn, was there another person in there? Was there a disturbance? What's the urgency to go there? There's no urgency to go there. There's nobody else in the apartment. The officer should have waited for backup here.
Right. Okay. So, okay. So, okay. As you see, he said, we don't know if there was somebody else in the house or whatever, but there wasn't. He was actually on the phone with his girlfriend, or they were on FaceTime. So
that manager is the one, to me, that made it seem like it was urgent that that officer go up there, because she
Exactly.
said someone called or whatever, something about a B word. She said
Yep.
whatever. So I believe that's why the officer went up there without waiting on backup, because what the lady is telling him, basically, she feel like that woman's life is in danger.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's why the officer went on up there and told her to stay down to direct the other deputy, how to get up there. Because it seemed like the building might have been a maze and the officer would have not known how to get up there. So he told her to stay down there to, help. But at the same time, like they said, we don't know if that gentleman actually heard him say, open up,
Right.
officer, because if he's in the back of the house, maybe with the TV on or the whatever, you're not
Right.
gonna hear that in the back of the house. You might
Exactly.
hear the knock.
Yep.
And,
Exactly.
you know, unfortunately, he had a gun in his hand when he
Point it
opened up the
down.
door.
Point it down. They made clear of that. Point it
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
But sometimes when you're faced with that, it's like is at a split second that you gotta
Exactly.
make a decision. You see somebody with a gun, all it would have took was him to raise it up and shoot.
Right. And it
So
happened so fast.
it
It's a
happened so
fast
fast.
thing. So that's why I say Karen ordered it, because Karen knew who lived in those apartments. She knew if there was another 1401. She knew of this. Um, I just think maybe there could have been more done to save him, or to not be on the third floor opposed to the fourth floor. But check this out. This is um a former police officer breaking down the video cam. But before, I just want y'all to go back and see the young man who they unalive. Just see some pictures of him. The news is going to play this. Where Channel 3 News is going to play this. So I'm gonna
Okay.
show
He should
you.
have said, I think he should have said, who is it?
Huh?
I think he should have said, who is it?
Right. Instead of just opening it. Well, he probably looked out the peephole and didn't see nobody.
And okay, if you hear somebody knocking on your door, you look out the peephole and don't see nobody. Are you gonna open that door?
Heck no, especially
I'm
not
not
like
gonna open up the door if I have a gun or not. I'm going to maybe lock myself in the room and then call the police or call 911 and say, there's someone outside my door saying that they're an officer. Do you know anything about an officer being at my address?
It
Or
probably just happened so fast,
yeah,
he wasn't really thinking, you
yeah.
know, because I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have opened the door too. I'm just saying to me and been like,
Somebody
what the
bam
hell you at
your
my
door
door?
like that?
With my attitude and my stupid way of thinking, I probably would have opened the door like, what the hell you at my door knocking for? Beating
see,
on my door.
I would have been scared because don't nobody come to my door, and then you beat
Bam
my
and beating on the door like that.
head.
There's no way in the world I would have opened my door.
Not at all. I'd have been like,
I
get
don't know,
down.
y'all.
I would have been like, get
I
down,
would have been
move.
like, who is it?
Now,
Especially
I
banding
would
like
have said,
that.
who is it? I would have been like, who is it? They
Or
didn't say
who's there?
anything. If they didn't say anything, I probably would have opened it up and been like, what the fuck is your problem? Why are you at my door, bamming on my
Exactly.
door like this? That's just
So,
me, though. I would
or
have said,
I'd
who is it?
hell yeah, been standing back in the room talking about some, who is it?
But
Exactly.
now,
Standing
the
way back.
police being at my door, I would have been like, well, what are y'all here for? I mean, what happened? I might
Okay.
have said that first, too, before I opened.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have opened that damn door. If he didn't identify himself, when I said who is it, I wouldn't have opened the door.
Yep.
And
Nope.
if he would identify himself, I would have told him to put his ID number in the peephole, and then I probably still wouldn't have opened it. I
Well,
would have.
Ebony, you already trained to go. You trained
Okay.
about all this.
Girl, but I wouldn't have either. Sis, I wouldn't open that door for him. I'd be like, who is it? But you know what? You
I
know
mean,
what?
that's
I'm
you was
lying.
23 years
I'm lying.
old. You know what I'm
I just,
saying? Like,
yeah, I just sat there and told a bold faced lie. I'm thinking about what I would have did, but now when I think about when that girl called the police on me while I was in the house, I just popped the door open, I didn't have no gun in my hand, but I popped the door open because I looked out the peephole, but I saw the police officer. See, that's the difference between me and him. I actually looked out the peephole and I saw him. So when he looked out, he probably didn't see nobody. So, okay, so that's the difference between when they came to my door for that, when that lady lied and said I was outside, knowing damn well I ain't been outside.
I honestly believe that he didn't know that it was the police, and that's why he opened the door with the gun. And he could have known it was the police and know how the police, shoots people. I mean, because he was just shot for nothing, and he probably just had the gun in his hand. You
Yeah.
know, I
But
mean, he was only 23 years old.
but he kind of known who it was because the police kept moving to the side out of the sight of the peephole. So he
Right.
didn't know who. He probably thought somebody was trying to rob him or something.
And did the police keep saying like open up the police or the
No,
I
sheriff?
would have to listen again.
only
I know
one
I heard him
time.
say it once. I don't know how many times he
Yeah,
said.
I heard him say it once
That's
Yeah,
it.
for
No more.
sure.
I
No
I
more.
know I know for sure he said it once.
Yeah, he only said it one time. That's when
But
they.
he only knocked twice, right? He knocked,
No,
and
I think
then he knocked again, and that's when he identified himself.
he knocked one from one side, then he went to the other side and knocked, and then he
And then
knocked
that's when he identified himself, right?
the third
So he
time.
knocked and then backed up and then went and knocked again and then identified himself.
Well, actually, I think I'll go back and look at, but I think he knocked, moved to the side, knocked again, moved to the side, and then moved to the other side and knocked. Some kind of way, I think he knocked 3 times. I'll go back and pull a video up so we can look at the knocks. But check this out. This is the captain, a former captain, breaking down the body cam. I don't know what he's going to say, but I want to see what he's going to say if it's going to go towards the police or the man.
Oh yeah,
But
I seen that when you pulled your stuff up earlier.
okay,
Um, yeah, let's
you
watch
did,
that.
you did.
Something
Okay,
current, that's an update on it or
No,
something.
I didn't see him the actual video, but when you pulled up the video about this guy getting shot, I
yeah.
seen on the side right there, and I was like, we need to watch it to myself.
Okay, see, we on the
Yep,
same track. Okay, look,
yep.
and then before they start talking about it, you can see who he was without his Air Force cap on. Just a little bit pictures. Okay, let me share with y'all.
Maybe
Lord,
the manager should have told the officer that.
hello, that's what I'm saying. Cause if she's the manager, she
He
knows. But
knows.
here's
Yeah,
the
Yeah, a
he
thing,
lot of
though.
knows
this is her
what he
fault
does.
too. A lot of this is the manager's fault too.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah, and then on top of that, if she knew the building had two 1401s, or somebody could get confused from the third floor to the fourth floor, I think more effort could have been made, being that it's a domestic violence or something of that sort. And the officer knew that it was no domestic violence because he listened and heard nothing. He got ready to knock and
Did he
put his
listen?
head down. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and look at it. Want me to go back now and look at it before we look at this one?
How long does it take to get a summer body with wall Pilates?
Yeah, go ahead and go
My
back
bestie
now.
recommended the wall Pilates.
I don't want to hear you. Hold on.
Sheriff's officer.
Hold on, that's.
Oh, he said it the first time he asked him not.
Okay, no, that was afterwards. Here we go. I gotta have to find it.
What, that wasn't the first knock?
Okay, listen, right here.
Okay, he had to
You
go.
know what? He's standing there. He's listening. Get ready to knock.
He listening.
He listens the most.
He don't say nothing.
Sheriff's office, open the door.
Okay, the second and the third knock.
Step out. Drop the gun! Drop the gun! It's over there. Drop the gun!
All right, that was some very disturbing images there of this body cam footage.
I don't have it. Did you hear him when he said that?
Yeah, he's still telling him, drop the gun, drop the gun. He's like, I don't have it. It's over there. Like, wow.
So the guy did drop the gun, right?
I think he dropped it after he shot him. It fell out his hand. Because as soon as he opened up the door, he started shooting.
Right.
He shot and then say drop the gun, but he had already shot him by then.
Why keep
after he
shooting
shot
him?
him, the gun fell out his hand.
My thing is, why keep shooting him? Why not? If it was just going to start shooting, just shoot him once.
Right. Or you don't shoot.
Don't shoot at all, because the guy wasn't aggressive or anything like that. But if you're gonna shoot and you're a police officer, shoot once.
You know what I'm saying?
I think they if I'm not mistaken, they trained to do like a dun 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 shoot shot.
It's called one shot, one kill.
Yeah, they trained to do that. They not just trained to just pow. That's it.
Yeah, they're not trained to shoot.
Yeah.
When I was in the military, one shot, one kill. Shot to the head. Make them, get them shot to the head, kill them dead. Shot to the head, kill them dead.
Wait, so police officers are trained to just
not to kill them, but they're not trained to just shoot like pow one time. It's like a,
like that dun dun dun.
Like a dun dun dun.
Yeah, you don't empty the clip. You save some just in case you miss, but you gotta make your shots count.
But why'd he get away with this though? All because the guy came to the door with his gun. But I mean, I don't see how he would be able to get away with it when the gun was clearly face down, and his hand wasn't on the trigger or anything.
And he should be in some kind of trouble because it's clear that he got.
Well, we don't know if his hand was on the trigger or not.
No, you can see his finger on top of it. They'll say it. That's what I was going to show you. They'll say it. Trump, Crump, and all them will say it. It shows it in some of the things. I was reading some of the messages. But here, wait.
Wait, so his finger was on the trigger?
No, his finger. It looked like it was above the weapon. Oh, whoop, over here. Hold on.
Yeah, the way that it was.
Yeah, let me see.
You hear on live now from Fox.
Sheriff's office
went down last Friday.
It's over there. Drop the gun! Step out.
See, it looks like this is his finger. Looks like his finger is not. See the trigger right there?
Didn't he step back? Wasn't that the first thing he said? Step back.
Who? Let me see.
The officer. They step back. Right?
Office, open the door.
Watch it. I thought I heard him say step back.
Sheriff's office, open the door. Step out.
Yes, it did say step back.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
But as soon as he's seen him with the gun.
All right, that was some very disturbing images there of this body cam footage that was released. And I did want to show you that in full context, just how quickly.
No, that was
Supercharge your business with the all-new Shopify point of sale, the all-in-one POS solution built on the world's most powerful.
You can tell the guy wasn't coming. The guy wasn't being aggressive or anything. Like, he really didn't. I don't believe he knew who was at his door. He comes out. He sees the officer with the gun and all. He got his hand held up, like.
Well, like
he wasn't trying to shoot the officer. He wasn't gonna shoot him.
He's a member of the Air Force. We know you. Well, we don't know, but it appears.
And the officer wasn't told by the manager. I think maybe if the manager would have told, you know, who the man was, maybe the officer wouldn't have went to the door as aggressive.
Exactly. It's a
But
lot of this is her
he
fault.
wasn't even supposed to go to that door. That was the wrong door.
How could it be the wrong door at 1401?
He did it. It wasn't no domestic disturbance there. He's no one's home with him. Look.
See, that manager told him that though. That somebody said bitch or something. She said the B word. She didn't say bitch. The B word.
And that they heard a slap.
Yeah. So that
So
manager,
he was home
hyped it
alone.
up.
So he was home alone. No one was there. But she gave him the apartment number, right?
And told him that basically it was a woman in there that she feel like needs assistance.
Yeah.
And my thing is with the officer stood by the door. You didn't hear anything. I don't understand why he was, aggressive as he was.
Yeah, I think he probably got scared. I bet you he was there only a couple of years. They're supposed to assess the situation very quickly. Most of the time they're trained to assess the situation quickly. From what I see, they got the little pop up people where it might be kid, woman with baby, and whatever, and they're supposed to assess that situation. So all he saw was the young man with the weapon standing there. So that was his assessment.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Since death, the state conference of the NAACP, as well as the Okaloosa branch, advocating for justice for FORTSON last night, releasing a list of demands and saying after watching the body camera video, they're determined the responding deputy had no justifiable reason to shoot FORTSON. WEAR's Karis Harmon joins us now. And Karis, a law enforcement expert, weighed in on that body camera video.
Yeah, he did, and told us what happened was senseless. The NAACP says it won't stop pushing for justice until it's served.
We could not simply just sit on our hands and hope this thing, all by itself just evaporate.
The Okaloosa County branch of the NAACP releasing a statement to Facebook.
Our community has been hurting from his teammates out on the base, to his family, to his friends, and even to many of us who didn't even know him personally. This has affected our community from all walks of life.
In that statement, a list of demands that include an investigation conducted by the U.S. Department of Justice and the release of disciplinary records of the deputy involved. Williams says he trusts Sheriff Aiden and says the release of the body camera footage was a good step towards transparency.
Our role is to view that from a public eye. I know that law enforcement may view it in a different way, but from a public eye, and determine whether we think that this was justifiable. We don't. At least I don't.
This is senseless. Let's agree on that. It should not have happened. And what we need to look at now is what should have been done, what could have been done to prevent this from happening.
Jerry Rodriguez has more than 30 years in law enforcement as a police captain and is an expert on use of force and other police practices.
For about 2 years there, I responded to every officer involved shooting within the city of Los Angeles.
Rodriguez walking us through what he saw in the body camera footage.
These are very difficult calls. Whenever you respond to a radio call at a residence of any type of a disturbance or domestic, it's very difficult. The officer has some limited information.
He says there are some things that the deputy did right.
The officer got as much information as possible from those that called or were present. I also saw the officer approach the door, and oftentimes officers will automatically knock right away. He paused, and it appears from looking at the video to me that he listened. He listened for any activity. I believe that the deputy made very clear who he was, and I think that the individual inside, based on what I believe I heard on the videotape, possibly knew that it was the police, the sheriffs at the front door, which begs the next question, is why you would open the door with a gun in hand.
Oh my God. However, Rodriguez says it is not illegal for someone to have a gun in their residence.
What complicates it is what the officer perceives as a potential threat when that individual enters the door with the weapon.
He says he's troubled by what he saw.
we have a tremendous amount of questions as to what led the deputy to believe that he was in immediate defense of life, because based on the video, it even appears that the individual raised his one hand almost in a defensive manner, and it appeared that the weapon was pointed downward. So what we use to judge whether it was objectively reasonable is whether the threat posed to the officer was imminent. And that's where the question lies for me here.
In the
You
body
see
cam
the
video, you see
holster
the
on
deputy
his
move out of the frame of the door
Robbie,
after the first knock.
Huh?
Rodriguez says
the
that is
boy he
protocol.
got
To
a
read the
holster
NAA.
on his hip. The Air Force guy. He had
Oh
a
no,
gun holster on his hip.
oh yeah, there you go, yeah. Right
So
there.
he must have took the gun out of the
And
holster.
then did you hear what he said? From the video I heard, the guy knew that it was the police. Like,
How
how
you
could
know?
he know it was a police officer?
He may not heard him.
Right, but they just automatically assume that the man, listen, they automatically assume that he heard him. Listen to this.
Because what complicates it is what the officer perceived at the door, which begs on the videotape, knew that the deputy made very clear who he was. And I think that the individual inside, based on what I believe I heard on the videotape, possibly knew that it was the police, the sheriffs at the front door, which begs the next question is why you would open the door with a gun in hand.
However, Rodriguez says it is not illegal for someone to have a gun in their residence.
What complicates it is what the officer perceives as a potential threat.
Yes, that right there, that statement that he just made, that is a statement that will get that officer off, talking about he may have known or seen, known that the police was at the door. Like,
He
are
said
y'all for real?
he heard, he may have known, he may have heard him say that he's an officer because the
Right.
officer made it very clear. But I don't know with the situation because it's like you have a split second to think.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
You have a split second. Okay. All you know is that you knocked on the door. You said you was an officer. Someone opened up the door and they have a gun in hand. And
Yeah.
at that moment, you got to think what to do. Someone has a gun. You have a gun.
Yeah,
And it's kind of hard.
it's definitely a hard decision, but they can't make it like that was right.
No.
Hey, Cherie.
Because he shot first and then say put the gun down. He should have
Right.
put the gun down and then see, if
Right.
he's gonna put it down, see was he gonna move, gesture it up.
Exactly,
Shoot and
Ariel.
then say put the gun down.
Exactly.
That's what the part I don't understand.
Yes.
And
They put the gun down first.
Yeah, we
He
understand
didn't
that
give
it's
him a chance.
exactly. Yeah, like I said, we understand that it's a difficult call to decide what's gonna happen or what's what. But I mean, damn, that was
Cause y'all gotta think the officer adrenaline is probably, rushing, and he saw a gun, and he didn't think, he just saw, all he saw was a gun.
Right.
Someone opened up a door with a gun.
But they supposed to be trained for situations like that.
He didn't have
No excuse.
really, to me, to assess the situation. He went off based what the manager said, and then he knocked. No one said who is it. He knocked again, and then he knocked the third time. So I think the manager should have let them know that he was in the Air Force, and maybe the officer wouldn't have went, took
Well,
that.
see, that's the thing. They wasn't supposed to be going to that guy's apartment.
Well, if if you get a call, if the police get a call saying that someone is some type of disturbance and it's a woman involved, they have to go because as far as they know, he could have shot her. She could be up in there dead or anything. So that they're
No,
not
I
gonna
thought
keep.
they was in the apartment. He was there alone, is what I thought. Did I
But
miss something?
that's not what the manager said though.
No, what I'm saying is, was it even a disturbance at all in his apartment? Didn't she give the
No,
wrong
but
apartment
yeah,
number?
yeah, but you only go off the officer only goes off what they're being told. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If someone calls and say, "Hey, I hear a woman next door screaming," and I heard some pout, thumping or whatever, um, and her screaming for help, get gets the police over here quickly. All the officer knows is what they were told was happening.
Hmm.
No, I might be confused, but I thought you said that the manager should have told the officer that he was going to the airman's apartment. But what I'm thinking is she didn't know, or she gave the wrong apartment number, so she couldn't have told him that, oh, you're going to a airman's.
No, she
um
didn't. I was thinking that she could have told them what was going on, but she should have also said, the gentleman who apartment you're going to, he's with the Air Force.
okay. Yeah, I'm thinking, I from see what my view is. I thought that she gave the wrong apartment number. She didn't think that she was given the airman's apartment number. You see what I'm saying?
Right. That's exactly.
That's what. Yeah.
I was thinking that too because the way she said was talking was that she really didn't know at first, and then she had to basically maybe listen, and then that's how she found out where the noise was coming from. Do y'all want to hear her again?
I know. I thought I heard her say something about, oh, it's coming from that area, like in the area of the airman's apartment. Is that what we heard? I'm not
I thought
sure.
she said that she didn't know at first where it
Yeah,
was
and she
coming.
said she just know it's coming from the area where she sent the police to. Then she turned around and gave them his apartment number, is what I kind of remember.
I don't know. I
We can
thought
go
she said
back and
first
watch.
she didn't
Let-
know where it was coming from.
Yeah, and
She
then
said
she
at
turned
first
around and said
she
something
didn't
about
know.
an area, and then she gave him his apartment number. Pull it back
So
up,
I
Robbie.
was getting what I got from it. At first she heard the noise. At first she didn't know what area it was coming from. And then she went and assessed it herself and seen that it was coming from apartment 1401.
Okay, yep, that's
That
probably what
I
happened.
think. I'm not sure. But
You
maybe
Robbie?
if we listen to her again, we can maybe get a better understanding. And see, that's the thing too. You only can go off of what you're being told. You know,
Yeah,
and so, and the officer listened. He didn't hear anything, but he still had to check the apartment to make sure.
yep.
Because had he would have left, and then something would have really happened in there, guess what? The officer would have been in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Because they would have said, "Oh, well, he came. Oh, well, we called and said that, and he came to the door, and just because he didn't hear nothing, he left."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the problem is she told him the fourth floor. He got off on the third floor. And that's where everything, so everything she said could have been true for the fourth floor. But even though it's 1401, how did the fourth floor turn into the third floor?
I don't know.
That's
Somebody
what
said maybe somebody pushed. Somebody in the comments said, well, maybe somebody was pushed the third floor. Somebody that was waiting to get on the elevator, and they pushed the third floor, and it was supposed to stop at 3. Because there's a lot
Yeah,
of
that could have been true. Yeah.
somebody in the comments said that, which
Yeah,
could be
Dimitri.
true. So it's a lot of unanswered questions.
But just like Brittany Davis said, um, she was like the manager should have went up with him. she should have went up there and at least led him to the apartment and then left. She didn't have to stay.
But
She could have just walked
she
out.
was going about what the officer told her to do, because if you remember, he told her to stay down there,
Right.
and so another deputy was coming for her to stay down there and lead him up there the right direction.
Okay, listen to
Because she
this.
was finna go up there with him.
Listen to this. Listen to this. What I just found. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me share it. I hate the word hold on. Hold on. Let me share it. Let me share it. It seems like we take forever when we say that.
How long is the video that we're watching anyway?
Not that long. We just watching a little bit of it. Just what
No,
what
you can watch it all.
I got to transfer it to my phone. Hold on.
This morning, we're shining a spotlight on the fatal shooting of a 23-year-old Air Force service member who was shot to death inside his own apartment. Roger FORTSON was inside of his Fort Walton, Florida apartment talking to his girlfriend on FaceTime when it happened. Someone in the leasing office called 911 after a tenant reported a disturbance. Here's what happened.
Sheriff's office, open the door. Sheriff's office, open the door. Sit down. Drop the gun! Drop the gun! He's over there. Drop the gun! 312, shots fired. Suspect down.
Now, the sheriff's office says that the deputy acted in self-defense because FORTSON was holding a gun when he came to answer the door. Ben Crump, the attorney for FORTSON's family, says that the deputies went to the wrong apartment. But the sheriff's office denies that and says that the deputies went to the apartment that they were told to go to. However, it's unclear if FORTSON was the person that the 911 caller was initially calling about. This is so sad, and there's so much to unpack with this. I mean, a life lost in just a matter of seconds. We have two law enforcement experts we want to bring now to analyze what we've seen on the body camera footage, and we're going to also play that FaceTime call that Ben Crump released. I want to welcome them in now. Retired NYPD Sergeant and the host of the podcast True Crime with the Sarge, Joe Giacalone, and firearms expert Mario Camposano. Great to have you both.
What happened? Robbie?
Yeah, I forgot my phone was on mute. I said I didn't want to really hear what the specialist had to say. I
You
wanted
don't?
to, you want to hear what they got to say, or you want to go to the FaceTime
I
call?
mean,
I would like to hear what they got to say.
yeah,
for a
I
little
would
while,
like to
at
hear what
least.
they got to say
Yeah.
about like the whole interaction.
Okay,
Two law enforcement experts we want to bring now to analyze what we've seen on the body camera footage, and we're going to also play that FaceTime call that Ben Crump released. I want to welcome them in now. Retired NYPD Sergeant and the host of the podcast True Crime with the Sarge, Joe Giacalone, and firearms expert Mario Camposano. Great to have you both on this program. Mario, I'd like to begin with you, please. Talk to us about shooting speed here. When someone has a gun in hand, and even if they're matched with a firearms expert or a speed shooter who might have their gun holstered, talk to us about the dilemma that can occur in this situation, please.
One of the things I look at in this situation is adrenaline. Adrenaline is a key factor that causes a lot of these issues to sometimes go awry. So in a situation like this, from what I see on the video, it looked like the officer may have had the gun drawn already on the side, but not pointed up. And then obviously when the door was opened, the deceased was holding a firearm in his right hand. So in a situation like that, and I've been in situations like this before, training, generally, the reaction and the response time is how can I rephrase it? I use the old 221 rule, right? So if you have an individual that's 21 feet away from you and they draw a knife, they can actually run 21 feet in 2 seconds. Do you have the time to react and everything like that? So not knowing what was behind the door, once the door was opened up, the response time is very quick.
Hey, it's Adam from StreamYard.
Sorry, y'all.
We have an exciting new feature to announce called Green Room, which is now available only on the business plan. Green Room is a waiting area for guests to prepare with hosts and producers before they enter the studio and go live.
So, it's tough.
It really is, Mario. I mean, you've done firearms training for years. You've served in our U.S. military, served as an officer and a firearms instructor, and every second counts here. And I think we can all agree this is horrible. This is horribly tragic all the way around. And there are so many different nuances. Like, for instance, Sergeant Joe Giacalone, we know that the officer did knock and announce himself multiple times. We see that on the body camera footage. But we know that there isn't a command to drop the gun. And I'm wondering, in your view, is that at all problematic given the proximity of the airman in the home having a firearm in hand?
Good morning, Julie. What you're dealing with here is they train you when feasible, right? So if the fact that this officer, the door opens up and this man is holding the gun, this is where exactly everything goes wrong for so many reasons. Now, I think that the officer had his gun holstered at this time, because when you can hear it click out, what we call breaking leather. And, that could also have been part of the issue where he actually uses good tactics, right? He knocks on the door, he stands to the left, he stands to the right, he's not standing in front of the door. No, people online are saying, well, they should have been right in front of the door. No, you don't stand right in front of the door, because if somebody does have a gun on the other side, they can shoot you straight through the door. So the idea is that you knock on the door, and those peepholes have that 180-degree angle. And you know what? I mean, the person feels that if their house is being invaded, don't open the door with a gun. Go retreat to your house, call 911.
Call 911. That was the last thing we heard you say, Sarge. We were losing your signal there. But thank you for that excellent points. I want to show you and Mario this portion of the FaceTime call. I mean, just think about this. This young man, 23 years old, he's on the phone with his girlfriend. They're doing a FaceTime, and Ben Crump, who's representing his family, released this portion of it. Let's take a listen together now.
Hang on, man. We got EMS coming for you. Don't move. Hey, we're good. You got a gun since you open that door.
So we didn't get to see all of it, but he just, again, chose to release a portion of it at this time. Mario, when we think about a threat versus verbal commands, as the sergeant was just saying, you're trained to give what you can under the time constraints. And I know you train law enforcement officers, about these things. What are some of the things that you're thinking about when you see these facts with this young man answering the door with a firearm, but not being told to drop the firearm until after he's already shot and on the ground?
We look at a situation like this, we call, Joe, I'm sure you've heard about this, called breaking the plane, right? When someone actually lifts their firearm to make an attempt to shoot you and everything like that, where he had his firearm down the side. Yes, the officer should have given the command to drop the firearm and everything, but that didn't happen. That's what disturbs me the most. The other aspect of it is, what is behind that door. And I'll agree with Joe. If you are concerned about what's on the other side of that door, dial 911, because at that point, if there's an officer there, that's already going to be known. That's already going to be relayed and everything like that. And then they can tell the individual, hey, that is an officer there. So.
Right. That's excellent advice from you and the Sarge, Mario, because answering the door with the gun is problematic. And I'm certainly not blaming this airman. We thank him for his service. Our hearts go out to his family. This is horrible. Nobody wanted this to happen. I can also see how we have this officer. He doesn't know what he's encountering behind the door, Sarge. Gets the call that there's a disturbance. He's going to rescue somebody and then is confronted with a gun. What is that like? I mean, I think it's very easy for everybody to kind of Monday morning quarterback and pick apart the facts. But when you're in that officer, and you both are, we thank you both for your service. I think police have the toughest job in America, really and truly. What's that like when you get confronted with someone with a gun? He doesn't know this is a service member. He has no idea. Sarge, final thoughts, please.
Yes, it's dealing with the unknown, and that's what the police deal with all the time. And this is a prime example of that happening. And we also have to be mindful that the cops don't have 20/20 hindsight when dealing with something like this. We can Monday morning quarterback it all we want, but it's going to be left up to a grand jury eventually.
Oh, that's right. And who knows? You're right. Who knows where this will go? And we'll leave it there for now because we understand this was the correct apartment. So we've got to leave it there. Certainly we expect a civil lawsuit, but certainly no indications that we're going to see anything criminal. Thank you both for your time and expertise. Sergeant Joe Giacalone, firearms expert Mario Campisano, thank you both kindly.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't stand a critic. You want to criticize
is incorrect. Obviously, it seems that way. Even though we heard her say the 4th floor, they're saying that it was the correct apartment. Even though he pushed the 4 and got off on the 3, it was the correct apartment.
I think what they're saying is it was the correct apartment, but it was the wrong apartment that the disturbance was in.
Right. They were
at the correct apartment that the leasing office told her, because they said that a tenant called the leasing office. So it was the correct apartment that the leasing office sent them to, but that wasn't the correct apartment that the disturbance was at, because clearly he was on FaceTime with his girlfriend. So it was another apartment that the chaos was going in.
Right. And if he had got off on the 4th floor, this may not have happened, like she told him. I don't know what this was, but it's supposed to be.
I'm saying I think he went to the right apartment, 1401, like the leasing office told him. But remember, she said she think. So I'm thinking that the apartment she gave him was 1401. He went to that apartment, but that wasn't the actual apartment where the disturbance was. So that means he went to the wrong apartment. He went to the apartment that she sent him to, but that wasn't the correct apartment. Wherever the disturbance was at, it was in another apartment.
Right. Maybe that is what was on the 4th floor. So yeah. So that they're gonna whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna blame it back on her for giving them the 4th floor, 1401.
Yeah, giving him that apartment because she really wasn't sure. She was just, basically saying it was coming from that area. And then we found out a tenant told her. So she really didn't know where it was coming from.
Right. That's what this video is about. It's only 4 minutes. This is Ben Crump. This is what this is what he said. Male and female. It's all 4th party information from the front desk leasing office.
So actually the officers were given the wrong apartment.
Right.
Because that wasn't where the disturbance was. Because if you go in an apartment complex, if they say, "Oh, I heard it coming from this door," then they go to that door, and it really wasn't that apartment. It had to be another apartment that the disturbance was going on, because he was in there by himself. Right. She was saying that it was an apartment where a woman and a man was in there, and it was something going on. That couldn't have been the apartment. That's why they're saying it was the wrong apartment, meaning they sent him to the right apartment, 1401, that they thought the disturbance was at, but that really wasn't the apartment. It was actually another apartment.
Correct. But here's the thing. She became very sure at the end. I'll replay it again. I'm going to replay it again, but I want you to listen to this part real quick. This is the radio call. This is why he should have just, I don't even know. I can't even say what he should have did. This is what they were saying on the radio.
Then a male and female. It's all fourth party information to the front desk at the leasing office.
Thank you. And the reason that's very important, Eric, and why we had it blown up, is because it reiterates that it is not the right apartment where Roger FORTSON is at. The dispatch officer says, don't have any further other than a male and female. It's all fourth party information from the front desk at the leasing office. That's important for two reasons. Number one, the police already know before they get there, they've been told that where the disturbance is at, there's a male and a female, and that they are getting their information from the front desk at the leasing office. And it's, as his mother and father and everybody continues to say, his girlfriend. Roger was in his apartment by himself, FaceTiming with his girlfriend. They were not raising their voices. He was making plans for their visit for the weekend. The only people in that apartment was, only person in that apartment was him, and he had his dog Chloe, who was present there. Eric, can we show Chloe, because Dr. Bryant, we have gotten so many inquiries about his dog Chloe. Maybe we can put it on the other screen too. Because you heard Chloe bark, but also, and I mean, we got so many inquiries about how his dog.
I didn't hear
doing
dog
from
bark.
dog
Did you?
lovers all across America. Because when they watch that video, they see Chloe in the video. And if we can go to the next picture, Eric, where you see that Chloe is right there when her daddy is shot.
Ain't true. I don't think it's true.
It looked like a maybe a
Chloe is there, and we have a freeze frame of it.
Let's see. Okay, let me show it.
Okay. And if we can put it on the other, Eric, if that's possible. Okay. And so you see Chloe by Roger's leg, while Roger has his gun that he is a licensed, registered gun owner. Every right to the Second Amendment as any other American citizen, and I think is probably far more qualified to be a gun owner than many. He was militarily trained to use firearms. He was highly intelligent, very respectful of authority, respected law enforcement, and you see the gun was down to his side the whole time. He never raised it. In fact, when you look at the photograph closely, you see that he doesn't even have his finger on the trigger. And when you look at the video, you see Roger step back and put his left hand up, trying to diffuse the situation. And yet, even though he's complying and stepping back, doing what the officer verbally commanded him to do. He says, step back. You see Roger stepping back. He shoots him anyway.
No offense, but if you still think stocks, real estate, or crypto are the best passive income.
That was all from that little video.
When Diana, a black female soldier, walked into a restaurant, all
Oh, yeah, we don't want to see that.
she wanted was to get her food.
I have no clue.
Drop the gun!
So we're going to go back.
This morning, we're shining a spotlight on the fatal shooting of a 23.
Well, we had Karen's voice on there. How sure she was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had took a call.
It's okay. I want to see. Go back to the one where Karen's voice was on there. Girl.
Yeah, when she was acting like she was so sure.
So much for joining us. We want to turn our attention
Charges
to
need to be put against her.
Top story of the day about a U.S.
Charges need
airman.
to be put against her.
Exactly.
It was
because
shot and
she led
killed
the
by
men
police,
there.
Late last week. Of course, Roger FORTSON, a 23-year-old. Of course, we're also learning more information about the body cam footage.
I don't know what happened, y'all. I'm sorry. My computer did what it wanted to do. It's trying to play everything.
I would like to see
so much
the entire body cam. Like after they shoot them, what did they do doing after that?
Police late last week, of course. Roger FORTSON, a 23-year-old. Of course, we're also learning more information about the body cam footage that was recently released by Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office. I do want to play this video out for you here on Live Now from Fox as we get more understanding into what happened, more reaction from people. But of course, viewer discretion is advised for this. Let's listen in and watch this body cam footage.
Like right after, but I wasn't sure where it came from.
Okay.
And I couldn't call, like, I didn't want to call the police. And, you know,
Which room is it?
1401.
1401, okay.
1401. But the girl sounded scared, the one that called. She was like, it sounds like it's getting really out of hand.
Oh!
Number 4, huh?
Did you hear that? Eb? It wasn't even the actual victims that called. Somebody called the office and told her. So that's why they say it was fourth party information. Oh my goodness gracious. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Did you hear
that?
Yeah,
because she said that a tenant called the leasing office.
The girl that called sounded scared. Oh my gosh, look. Okay.
So that's why I'm thinking that's where they get the thing as wrong apartment, not meaning they went to the wrong apartment, because she clearly said 1401. I believe they said wrong apartment they sent them to the wrong apartment. That wasn't where the disturbance was actually at. It was at another apartment because, like they said, he was there alone. He wasn't there with someone else.
Right.
And with a girl, his girlfriend, that they were arguing. So they didn't even go to the right apartment.
Right, because she got fourth party information and called the police not knowing what was going on. It's like, why didn't the person that called her call the police?
And then I guess fourth party mean the tenant called the leasing office. The leasing office called 911, and then 911 told the officers.
Exactly.
And I mean fourth party. So it went down like a
chain,
a chain of command or whatever.
Yeah. Wow. That's why he said, Ben Crump said fourth party.
Fourth party information. And what the leasing office should have did was went to first, I believe she should have went to the apartment of whoever called her.
Yeah.
And then tried to hear where it was coming from.
Yeah, and that's why he got off on he pushed number 4 and got off on number 3, because she told him 1401 was number on the 4th floor, but it was actually on the 3rd floor.
I don't know how that went, but She told him 1401. He went to 1401, but it wasn't even 1401. They shouldn't even been at 1401.
Right.
Because the disturbance was not at 1401
at all.
At all. It was at another apartment, maybe close by, and they just thought it was 1401
Or
because maybe the sounds in the wall or whatever. They should have went to the actual tenant apartment who made that call to the leasing office.
Or somewhere near her apartment.
Near his apartment, I think it was going on, but not his apartment.
They should have went close to the person that called, because that would be the person who hear it next door to that person or something, either above, below, next door. You know what I mean? They should have went to. She should have.
They should have went to her, because they would have been able to get the accurate of what she heard from the disturbance. What did she actually hear?
Yep.
Because by the time it gets to the third or the fourth person, it's all twisted around.
Now that's terrible.
Because everybody tells us a story their own way.
It's like every time we listen to that video, we hear something different. I mean, something additional that we missed the first time.
Yeah, I heard her say, I can't remember when I heard them say it was a tenant that told the leasing office.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even the leasing office that actually heard. So she shouldn't even been telling them anything, because she didn't hear it herself.
Yeah. She should have said, I don't know where it is, but the lady that called me is in this apartment. Maybe you can ask her.
Yep.
Damn.
So, was that all the video or no?
Of this video or the videos about it?
The video about it, or that's what this is the end, or.
Well, we can go on for days and days and days with it, because there's a lot of stuff out on it. But I just, bring awareness to that part, because that's just terrible. I'm gonna see.
You're right. That was like the knock of death. The knock of death.
And I say Karen called it, because Karen's the one that maybe I'm thinking the lady before, maybe gave her the right apartment number and on the fourth floor, and she mixed it up and said 1401. Maybe it was 1501 or 6 on the whatever floor.
I would like to know what apartment was the tenant who actually called in to the leasing office. What apartment was her apartment? That's what I would like to know, because I would think that either it was on her floor or above her, or it could have been under her. With them apartments, depending on how thick the walls are, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. And she's such a sweetheart. She said that she heard the knock, and she gonna go to the door and say, "What are you knocking on my door for?"
Right. And I
she gonna open up the door and say, "What are you knocking on my door for?" Nigel gonna open up the door and say, "Get away!"
Okay, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want? I said that too, but then I thought about when they come to my door. But I know that it's the police, because I always look out my peephole. I don't just open my door unless I'm expecting somebody. I had to stop doing that too.
When I hear a knock on my door, I immediately go to my phone and look at my doorbell camera and see who's out there.
So
before I even go to the door, I'll look on the camera and see.
Yeah, so my question is this: what do you think? Do you think he's going to get off?
The only problem that I have with the officer is that he shot first and then said, "Drop the gun." He should have said, "Drop the gun" first, gave him like a split second to see was he gonna drop it.
Right.
Because he probably would have dropped it.
Of course he would have. He would have said, "Hey, I'm such and such" or something. But it's so hard,
Yeah, you only got split, like you said. Your adrenaline is rushing, And people think like you got a whole 5 minutes, like 30 seconds, goes by so quick, and it really seems like a lifetime because you got a split second to make a judgment, and you got to hope that it's the right judgment because all you see is a gun, and you don't want to be the one that not go home.
Yeah, and in a situation like that, it is a lifetime because you don't, you should not get another chance.
Yeah, a split second, the officer didn't have enough information about anything. He didn't know if the tenant was with the Air Force. He didn't know if the tenant was a psycho. He didn't know if the tenant was a gangbanger. He didn't know anything.
Right.
All he know is that he knocked on the door several times. Nobody said anything, and then the door opened and he sees a gun. And all the person on the other side hears is somebody banging on his door saying, "Sheriff's Department, open up." Just because they're saying Sheriff's Department, open up, that don't mean that they're actually the Sheriff's Department. So that's why I would have called 911 immediately, because he had a little time to call 911. Okay, because what was they gonna do? Because he could have locked himself, called 911, and 911 would have told him, yes, that's the officer at the front door. Then he
Right.
would have knew to put his gun in his holster and then open the door.
Right. Check this out, Deb. Here's another video. When I said Karen ordered the knock of death, this
Yeah.
video is going to exactly say that. I promise you. This right here, this video is so sad. Hold on. This is new stuff that's released. Oh my goodness.
She should have been questioned, and that tenant. Where are they? Where's the
Right.
tenant that originally made the call to the Lisa office?
Baby girl, I doubt if it even was one at this point. Hold on. Look at this.
Okay.
Hold on. This is sad.
Newly obtained police dispatch audio reveals the first call came in around 4 p.m. on May 3rd about a physical disturbance in progress.
Don't have any further other than a male and female. It's all fourth party information through the front desk at the leasing office.
Around 4:29 p.m., the 4-minute police body camera video begins with an Okaloosa County, Florida sheriff's deputy arriving on the scene.
She was saying that it happens frequently.
Okay.
But this time it sounded like it was getting out of hand.
A woman at the complex tells the deputy she heard yells and a slap coming from the apartment 2 weeks ago, but wasn't
She said
sure
it happens
where it came
frequently.
from. Eventually, she directs the deputy to 4th floor apartment 1401, the home of 23-year-old senior airman Roger FORTSON, saying the girl who made the call about the physical disturbance sounded scared. At 4:31 p.m., the deputy knocks once without introducing himself. Roughly 30 seconds later, he knocks again twice. A warning, what you're about to see over the next 20 seconds is graphic.
Step out.
FORTSON, who appears in the body camera video to have a lowered firearm in his right hand, was shot 6 times to the chest. He survived the initial shooting,
312, get EMS my location.
but was later pronounced dead at the hospital.
My baby was my everything. Roger was my third son. Where we come from, you don't end up where Roger ended up.
Adding to their pain, FORTSON's family believes deputies went to the wrong address, a claim that the sheriff disputed while defending his deputies' actions. Ben Crump, Natalie Jackson, and Brian Barr represent the family. They say the initial police statement was misleading and left out key details of the shooting.
It makes you think this happened outside, that this kid was in the middle of a disturbance and he did something. He instigated this and lost his life. That's what it makes it sound like. It sounded like justified.
We are aware of a press release and other comments that falsely state our deputy entered the wrong apartment and imply that they burst through the door into Mr. Fortson's residence.
During the shooting, the airman was on a FaceTime call with his girlfriend, who Crump says told him there was never a disturbance at Fortson's home. Crump says Fortson had been home alone just 30 minutes before the deputy arrived. He heard 2 knocks at the door, and when he couldn't see anyone through the peephole, Crump said, citing the girlfriend, then Fortson grabbed his gun, which Crump said he legally owned. In the girlfriend's FaceTime video, we hear Fortson struggle to breathe after the shooting as he lies on the floor, bleeding out.
Do not move, stop moving.
The deputy is now on paid administrative leave while the Florida Department of Law Enforcement investigates.
The state attorney's office in Okaloosa County tells me that they are going to wait for the FDLE to finish their investigation before they decide whether to pursue charges. I did get in touch with the chief assistant state attorney there in the county, who tells me that he did see the video, but he refused to comment, adding that it's too early for them to do anything with the case. He also said that there's no expected timeline as to when the FDLE will wrap their investigation. Nick Valencia, CNN, Atlanta.
All right, joining me now to talk more about this tragic shooting is Derek Johnson. He is the president of the NAACP. Derek, great to see you. So, I mean, from Roger Fortson's family to his attorneys, I mean, this is upsetting for many reasons. How do you see this?
Well, another example, when you don't have any accountability metrics for police officers to de-escalate scenarios. But in this case, the question is, what crime was committed? What crime was allegedly committed? And there was no crime. He simply was seeking to answer the door of a police knock. And at some point, we must, as a society, determine the type of nation we would like to be as opposed to what's taking place. In 2023, we had a 10-year high of police-involved shootings of individuals. Significant number of those individuals were African Americans, and a large number of those individuals were unarmed. When will we stop this madness and address this public policy fiasco where we are allowing law enforcement officers just to kill people and never be held accountable?
This body cam footage, I mean, reveals the deputy knocked on the door at this Fort Walton Beach apartment that a neighbor, as we saw in Nick Valencia's piece, pointed out, but seemingly with uncertainty. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FDLE, is going to investigate while the Okaloosa County Sheriff's deputy, who is unnamed, is on leave. Does this feel urgent or transparent enough to you?
It is completely untransparent. First of all, you have a neighbor who heard an argument, a domestic disturbance between two people who were familiar with one another. That person never stated, based on what's been shared publicly, that there was violence that rose to the level of armed deadly force. Secondly, he was home alone. This neighbor had the wrong apartment. And thirdly, the girlfriend was on FaceTime with him. What crime did he commit to cause this officer to use deadly force? It is legal for an individual to have a firearm in their home. It is legal for someone like him to actually have an altercation so long as no one's life is at risk. And there's no evidence that the apartment that was called was his apartment, and there's no evidence that anyone's life was at risk.
Do you have confidence in the FDLE leading this investigation?
No. Unfortunately, we have a history in this nation where law enforcement agencies protect officers who commit these type of crimes, in my opinion. There is no accountability. In fact, until we pass the George Floyd Police Reform Act, we're going to continue to see these same type incidents. That's why it's important to make sure that we have a Congress with enough courage to hold bad officers accountable, train good officers on how to de-escalate, and maintain a database so law enforcement officers cannot go from agency to agency and commit these heinous crimes.
All right, Derek Johnson, so glad you could be with us. Thank you so much.
Well, let me tell you. Did they answer all our questions? Did they answer y'all questions?
hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. I was trying to drop down and talk. But you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, do anybody have any questions that you ask them?
I want to look at this and make sure, just every now and then periodically check and see what happened.
That's fine, Tree, I'm on an important phone call. I just I think it was an unfortunate situation, all around because the lady was saying that because we saw more footage of them actually walking from the leasing office. She said it happens quite frequently.
Right.
When she said that, so
Yep.
then you should know what apartment it is, then, lady.
Break room said hi, Ebony
Hey, break room.
and Brittany.
Yeah, I dropped in the chat and said hey to her.
Yeah.
Sure.
So look, with her saying that it happens frequently, that means she knew what apartment that it was and which one it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
That man's girlfriend doesn't even live here. He had just got home 30 minutes before it happened.
And there's no way in the world that she could have heard a thump or something. She said she heard something like a hit or something, and he's on FaceTime with her. Like,
right.
Get out of here. That makes me think, like, did she send them there deliberately because she got something against him?
Well, I heard that too. Oh, a black man in there.
Because how can, if you say it happens frequently, said something like it happens frequently, but not to this degree, or something like that. She said, meaning this was the time is was the worst or whatever. So
Right.
she should know exactly what apartment.
Exactly. That's why I said I knock it down.
I would, I would want her question. I would want to sue the leasing office, also the property, because she's a worker there, and she led the police to someone's door, basically, and the person ended up unalive.
Exactly. Because of her. How could you supposed to be a leasing agent? How could you have the wrong and send someone there?
Yeah. And where is the other deputy that was supposed to be showing up? Because he told her to stay down there.
Right.
Where's that other deputy? Like, it should be on the body cam footage, because the other deputy should have showed up within seconds behind him. Because that's how it goes. One there, and he already knew that other deputy, ETA, was probably coming right away. So that's why he told her to stay down there. Where is he at? And why can't we know the officer name?
And why are you releasing that part of it? And then here's my question. You gonna tell a man that shot 6 times for a month?
He shot him 6 times.
Don't.
And then it's kind of crazy. He could have shot him. He didn't have to shoot him in the chest. He could have shot him toward the leg, knocked him off his feet.
And he was a special ops airman too.
He could have tased him.
Exactly. He could have shot him in the hand.
He could have what?
Could have shot him in the hand.
Yep.
I'm looking at this thing. They say same story, same race, told different year. So it's not something that just that he was special ops.
Why is he even on doing regular calls? Because he's special. Who was special ops? The officer or the
special operation? The the guy, Roger, Mr.
The black guy?
Yeah. Special Yep. I was looking at him and he was I guess he was gonna point out what happened. Same sheriff's department, same crazy that keep happening. Same thing, but he's pointing out the part. I don't want to see the whole video. Point out the same stuff that happened to another soldier, but just a different year. What to do when law enforcement knocks at your door? I mean, what should they do?
What was said?
I mean, he's just he's saying that it's the same story, same race soldier, just a different year.
Who said that?
African Diaspora News channel. That's what I was just looking at. And so it's like, I guess it's something that happened before. I was trying to get to the part so we didn't have to look at his whole spiel again. But, you know, when it's their channel, they talk.
And what was the Air Force guy? How old was he? How old was the young man that got killed?
23 years old.
Oh, well, unalive, rather. 23? Wow.
Oh, shoot.
23.
Yep. This is cold right here. Hold on, this Tiffany. She ain't playing with them. See, this is what we need, people like this to open their mouth and speak about this. This is what we need instead of fighting over stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? And figuring out who did it to. This is what, you know, it's very interesting. Don't get me wrong. But we need to put some of that energy into this because good men are getting.
Who's liking what posts.
Right.
And stupid stuff like that.
Exactly. We need to band together and start putting this kind of stuff out. Listen, she's getting in on them. This is a.
They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet.
We do on devotional last time. Was it Eric Mays?
He gonna tell us.
I think it was Eric Mays last time. Okay, so Eric Mays, you say you finally got a notification. Well, oh, good. I'm glad you got a notification for a stream. All right, I think Eric Mays was the last time. So let's see if we let me go ahead on and guess. We did Eric Mays. Let me get Tiffany in here.
Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work, no work.
What is that?
No comment. Y'all should
love her.
Y'all black. Y'all are black. Y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
So this is what it's all about, guys. They don't want a black person in power. They don't want a woman in power. You know, if you ain't seen that yet. And someone so young. Everybody gotta understand, God give you what you can handle. That's what God give you. He ain't gonna give you more than that. As long as you can stay the course, fight the fight, and keep going, that's what we're gonna do here at Thornton Township. And we've been doing a doggone good job.
Clerk, what are you doing? You out of order. You out of order. Did I call the roll? Did I say call the roll? I'm still speaking. You're out of order, Clerk Key. You out of order, Clerk Key. Like, stop. Y'all out of order. Everybody want to run stuff. Y'all don't run this house over here. Stop, please.
Oh, I love her.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was, your super mayor and the world super mayor, Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany. It's only a matter of time for Sister Tiffany, right? So,
let me see. Did they say it?
I think the other day I heard about the story.
Google it later.
It was a little bit toward the end of last week. When I say around Thursday, the story we're going to talk about today. And it's about a U.S. airman, young brother, 23 years old, family and everybody from Atlanta, actually. Roger FORTSON. He was actually not only just an airman, but he was actually in special operations. He was stationed actually in Florida. And
okay.
our brother isn't here with us anymore. And what happened to our brother is very similar to what's happened to a lot of Black Americans in this country at the hands of the race soldiers. Now we know the race soldiers are here to maintain racism, white supremacy. That's their job. That's what they do, period. They do not protect and serve like they claim they do, because they legally do not have to prevent crime. They legally do not have to even protect you. And that's even by laws and judgments through the Supreme Court. Look it up. They do not have a obligation to protect you or prevent crime. Yet we throw billions and billions and billions of dollars into these local law enforcement agencies talking about, oh, to keep us safe, but yet you do not prevent crime. So why am I spending all this money on you and you're not stopping crime? You're not stopping it. Oh, but you good for pulling somebody over for a traffic stop, for a freaking speeding. You got all this crime going on. Like, for instance, prime example, those who live in the Houston area, Beltway 8. Now, that's a toll road for those of you who don't know about the Houston area. That's a toll road. You got Beltway 8, you got Fort Bend Toll is another one. So some of the different toll roads around here. I see more police or constables on the Beltway 8 or the Fort Bend Toll than I see on 45 or 610. And have y'all ever wondered that, those of you who live in the Houston area, why the cops are hanging out so much on the toll road where people are actually paying than the free road that people riding down on? That's the crazy part for me. You never see the cops just hanging out on the free roads. They always hanging out on the toll roads. The people paying, like, bruh, you would think maybe they would incentivize people a little bit to go to toll a little bit more because y'all leave people alone. You would think, right?
Girl, you want to finish hearing what he got to say?
We don't have to.
Okay. Hey, girl.
Hey. Sorry
Illinois.
about
Well, she the mayor of Illinois, Brittany say. Thank you, Brittany. Yeah, we was just looking at more of the stuff that was going on. We actually
okay.
seen
Yeah,
the
I
last.
just got a phone call. Sorry about that.
That's okay. We actually seen the a part of the FaceTime call with his girlfriend when they told him to be still when he was shot. Stop
Oh,
moving.
y'all seen the FaceTime call?
Just a little. It was just a little portion of it where we heard
Talking
them
about.
telling him to be.
So y'all seen his girlfriend face?
No, just the sky.
Okay.
Yeah, just the sky. We seen that the leasing agent lady took the police in there and said that it happens frequently. And she took him, she gave him the wrong address. And if this happens frequently and just 2 weeks ago you heard something else, how did you manage to give him the wrong apartment?
Exactly.
If it happens frequently. So once again, Karen orders the knock of death.
That's why I said she needs to be charged.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, what are we going to do about these Karens? I have some videos. I know we're not going to see them today, but I have some videos of Karens getting their own justice in them streets when they act like Karens. Oh, and baby, they was nice. They was nice. She isn't mayor of the state, just the township. Oh, okay. Boy, she need to be, because she was getting it. And then they was trying to be disrespectful to her. And she was telling you, you're out of order. You're out of order. You're out of, and that's what they do. That was another part of the target of women, of how when they get to jobs and people are disrespectful
Well,
down.
she was telling the clerk that too.
Yeah, that's what she was telling the clerk. But that's another way that women are targeted. One of the points that when we do get in these positions, we're looked over. We're what's the word? Where they don't pay us no attention. They just whatever. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
only is she a woman, but she's a Black woman.
Right.
What
Right.
state did Brittany say she's a mayor in?
She's
Illinois.
She is
And what city?
township. Yeah.
Who? What township?
Oh, you can't wait to see the Karens? I know, baby. It's something else. Them Karens was getting it. They was videoing the Karens was tripping out. And guess what? Guess what?
What?
Dalton, Illinois. She's a township in Dalton, Illinois.
Okay.
I honestly didn't see in the people that were videoing these Karens tripping out. I honestly did not see these Karens being arrested or anything else. I did see one or two get their butts whooped, or 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6. But them Karens was getting their justice, let me tell you. But yeah, y'all, we got to, because this is not, there is so many of these that have been pushed up under the rug. Ben Crump, I believe he took this one, especially, one, because he probably knows that it's dead ass wrong. 2, he was an airman who was stationed in Florida, the right to carry and defend your ground. And I mean, he did everything right. He had it by his side. His finger wasn't on the trigger. He stepped back. He put his hand up in peace. He was home alone, wrong apartment, 3rd floor, 4th floor, 1401, 2 weeks of it. Happens often.
See how they tried to lie also and say that he had the gun illegally.
Yeah, and I want to see the police report, because they said the report that the man wrote up made it seem like he was outside and
And he was the one that was problematic.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Real quick before we go.
Wow. So are you gonna show the Karen?
Oh no, I wasn't gonna show it today. Not unless y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I was just looking real quick to see if we seen the police report or if they posted it. Somebody had it, but I doubt it, because it was fabricated. It was a blatant ass lie for them to say that.
If you get the police report, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find. But Ben Crump already. I mean, it wasn't even Ben Crump that said it, or maybe it was Ben Crump, but they said that it looked like he was outside in the middle of it. You know what I mean? It was just a bad thing.
Like he was outside of his apartment.
Yeah.
On the street.
In the middle of the street, yeah. Police give update on U.S. airman killed. Did we listen to that when the police was talking about what happened?
I don't think so.
I think this is before the body cam was released. Let me see. Are you gonna play? Maybe they took it down. That would make sense, huh? Okay. This is what it looks like. So I don't think it's gonna come up. Let's see. It's just a black screen. Does that mean they took it down?
Yeah, they might have removed it.
Yeah, see, there it is right there.
But when you click on it, it don't show nothing.
That's it.
You gotta fast forward a little bit.
It won't even come up for that. Okay, I'm not violating community guidelines. Oh, there you go. I understand and wants to, okay.
We simply want to assure the community of what is known at this time for the safety and for the safety of our deputies and for the community. I told Mr. FORTSON's family this afternoon that they have my word. If this shooting is found to be unjustified, their son's name will be fully vindicated and justice will be served. Now, before we play this video, all of us understand what we're about to see. And for those of you that are live streaming and don't want to watch this event because it's tragic, then I suggest you just look away for about 4.5 minutes. That's about how long it's going to take once we roll the video. For those of you that are live streaming, it's going to be on here. And after this, we will share a link to the video. But out of respect for you, whoever doesn't want to see it again, it will take about 4.5 minutes. You will see the things that I just mentioned on the video that corroborate what I've just said. Go ahead.
That's what.
At this time, for the safety and for the, we simply want to assure the community of what is known at this time. For the safety and for the, but out of respect for you, corroborate what I've just said.
If we could hear what he said, but we didn't hear him. Let's see, can I find that?
No, he was gonna show the ride in the car on the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it. Yeah, that's what this is. I put it back, but I went back I thought that I had fast forwarded past him speaking about, you know, how they tell what happened before they show the video. That's what I thought I missed, but I didn't. He didn't say nothing, so that's why I went forward again. But this is it right here.
Afterwards.
Okay, so this is it right here.
Mm-hmm.
Just look away for about 4.5 minutes. That's about how long it's going to take once we roll the video. For those of you that are live streaming, it's going to be on here. And after this, we will share a link to the video. But out of respect for you, whoever doesn't want to see it again, it will take about 4.5 minutes. You will see the things that I just mentioned on the video that corroborate what I've just said. Go ahead.
What's going on? I'm not sure. I just was told to let her know if you guys come by. So I'm going to give her a quick call. She has a better. So there's a fight going on or something? I was not paying for that. Okay. Yes, sir. Are they fighting or something? Okay.
But this time it sounded like it was getting out of hand.
Okay, which door?
I'm not sure. 2 weeks ago, I was walking by the apartment recently on this side, and I was hearing someone yell like, "Shut the fuck up, you stupid B-word," all of a sudden, like right after it, but I wasn't sure where it came from. And I couldn't call it. I didn't want to call the police.
Which room is it?
1401.
1401, okay.
1401. But the girl sounded scared, the one that called. She said, she was like, it's getting out, it sounds like it's getting really out of hand.
So it's getting number 4 now? Okay. We sat out there and directed the deputy that's coming in this area?
It's not, you're gonna go up to the floor, but it's gonna be on this side.
Yes.
I just caught. How did Karen walk by their apartment? I guess she came down the stairs. Okay. Wait a minute, Ebony. In this video, did you hear her say the 4th floor?
No.
But I didn't hear the emphasis on the 4th floor and all that other stuff.
I didn't hear that at all.
Oh, why? Does that mean the video edited?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go back. Maybe we missed it. Did anybody in the comments hear it? Britt, did you
I
hear
heard
it?
her say something about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
She walked past the apartment and something.
And yeah, heard some cussing and she thought she heard a slap. That could have been somebody clapping their hands.
Okay, that was 2 weeks ago though.
Right. Right.
No,
This
that could have been true 2 weeks ago.
right. His girlfriend could have been there 2 weeks ago, and that could be.
And this is a pretty nice little
yeah
subdivision too.
That's what
It's
I just
not, you know, low budget looking or really ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a fight going on or something? I was not ready for that.
What part of Florida is this? What part of Florida is this?
Ocealushi or something. Oswego. So I'll tell you some kind of weird name.
Cause I don't even see the palm trees.
I know. Well, where my mom lives in Jacksonville, I don't remember seeing palm trees when I go there. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna take a week vacation and go see my mom and dad pretty soon.
My cousin lives in West Palm Beach.
Okay.
Are they fighting or something? Okay.
But this time it sounded like you were getting out of hand.
Okay, what's going on?
I'm not sure. 2 weeks ago, I was walking by the apartment basically on this side, and I was hearing someone yelling, "Shut up, you stupid B word!" All of a sudden, I heard a slap. Like right after it, but I wasn't sure where it came from. And I didn't want to call the police.
Which room is it?
1401.
1401, okay.
1401. Well, the girl sounded scared, the one that called. She said, she was like saying that, it sounds like it's getting really out of hand.
So it's been number 4 now? Yeah. Okay. We sat out there and directed the deputies coming from the city?
It's not, you're gonna go up to the fourth floor, and it's gonna be on this side.
Yes. Three 12 111.
So that's all they show. This is from the police, but I'm gonna let it play so we can hear what they say afterwards. So we're gonna see the sad part again, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Sheriff's office on the door. Sheriff's office on the door.
move. 312, get EMS my location.
It pains me to show the video, but I know that you all need to see it. We look forward to FDLE's findings and the final third-party review done by the State Attorney's Office. We know you have many questions, as do we, but we are confident in our state's agencies' abilities to investigate the facts, no matter where they may lead, and we are prepared to take action that is required to best serve our residents, the military community, and our visitors. Transparency and accountability have been our top priorities from day one. We will also be distributing the link for your reporting needs, and when we have more information, we will share it. Until then, I must respectfully ask that you direct all questions to the investigative agency, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Personally, I want to add that it's been my life's honor to be your sheriff. That service extends to all of our citizens, military, visitors, and the deputies that I lead. You are all important and valued to me as your sheriff. I know we will come to a resolution in this matter, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your patience and understanding as we go through this.
What the hell that got to do with the price of tea in China? I'm so irritated with that last comment. Why do you care about where you at and how much you care about being there? And then that's just his family speaking in the funeral services and stuff like that. But y'all make sure y'all stay on me to find out if this police officer was prosecuted, okay? And what was the outcome of it?
We're gonna have to come back and do like a part 2 or something.
Yeah.
When we find out some more information.
I really enjoyed this, Robbie.
Thank you. But I got some more. Y'all know I got some more. I still want to finish about the girls, y'all. We got to finish about the girls. Maybe I'll come live a little bit later about the ladies who are going on
real
online
quick,
dates.
or you were
Yeah.
talking about the other. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. The one with the daddy.
No, the online dates and they're
Oh,
becoming
online
unalived.
dating. Okay.
Yeah, they're unalived with their first dates. But this was just something that was kind of important. Well, not kind. It is important because
yes,
just because this one happened at his front door, and it was an airman, it's happening everywhere and all the time.
more saddened because it. If you're looking at it, it was two officers that had to face each other and determine on what was going to be the end result. Versus a deputy sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
And that was sad that was the face off because both of them men should have walked away and been, walked away healthy and and it makes it even sadder because the Air Forceman, he was only 23 years old. He was just starting to begin his life.
And the fact that 23, he was already a special ops, that means he had been in the military for a little while because you just don't go in and become a special op.
Nope, you have to at least be in there, I think, maybe a year or two.
Maybe he's already, so that means he's been through AIT and basic training. He's now at a duty station, which is Florida. Who knows what duty state? I think he may have been at one or two before. This apparently wasn't his first duty station. I don't think from him. I think where he lived, it kind of looked like I'm not gonna say for them to say rooms. I'm gonna say it kind of looks like
They said apartment.
Yeah, they said an apartment, but it kind of looks like Cherie said her husband was a special ops as well. And they come in prepared, but they're not violent. They're trained to, de-escalate before they have to do something because they have to pay attention. But it looks kind of like budget. Here we call them budget suites, but it's like monthly. It could be monthly, weekly rental where you have the kitchenette and everything. I'm just saying about the outside of it, but that may not. That kind of looks like the outside of some of these, but it's. I'm not saying that that's what it is. Even though so, I read that it could have been a race thing, and maybe that the call never happened. I mean, maybe that there was never, anything happening.
A dispute. You know what? Also, Robbie, I was thinking about had that happened on the base.
Yeah.
This would have never went down like that. Because first of all, if it was a disturbance in his, whether it was his apartment on base or his house, and if he lived in the barracks, who knows, they wouldn't have sent officers, that civilian officers. They would have sent officers that they have for the military, like
Right.
MP. They would have sent the Air Force officer there, and none of this would have even happened had he lived on the base. But
Right.
a lot of the officers don't like living on the base for whatever reason, and they chose to live off base a lot of times because if you're in the barracks, you can't have like anyone living with you or anything like that.
Right. And
And some of them like to have their apartment, and they
Yeah.
get really good discounts when they're off base.
Yeah, and they get paid. They get paid. I forgot what it's called, BA, something like that. They get paid to live off base and stuff, and it's actually more than the rent because they get paid that and for food. And but there may not have been space on the base for him because he is special ops. He may have needed his own space, so he more than likely could have had multiple weapons in the house because he's special ops. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's crazy. Usually, the apartment buildings that be off base, that's close to the base, nothing is in there but military people
Right.
that live in the apartment complex. So I don't know what that was in Florida.
Yeah, that was.
It didn't look ghetto, like a project or anything like that, but it didn't look high fashion either, but it didn't look bad.
Right, right. And especially for a place with a name like that, that means it's not like the major city. So it could have been a lot of racism there. Like me, I need to hear the lady who said she had the call. I want to hear from the lady who said she called the office because of it. If there's no lady that said that, I'm not believing it.
And who cares what happened 2 weeks ago?
Right.
We're talking about today. What is transpiring today, that day, to make you guys all in a frenzy that y'all wanted to call the police?
Exactly.
It's a lot of unanswered questions. And y'all know that the police are trained to protect each other.
Right. And then it's just, first of all, on a domestic dispute, when do police officers go to the door by themselves? When he went and they said it sounded like it was getting pretty bad, he should have just waited for the next deputy if he didn't hear anything, because at that point it could have been really bad. It could have been he already did what he did to her, or you know what I mean? It could have been really, really bad being that he didn't hear anything. And I think that when he heard the man twisting the doorknob, I think he should have.
Did he touch the doorknob?
No, I'm talking about when Roger opened the front door. I think he could have said the police something, you know what I mean, re-announced himself or something or something. But it sounded like, I don't know if I was hearing things or maybe I wanted to hear something.
The officer told him to step back.
Right, and I thought I heard Roger say something, but you really couldn't hear him say nothing unless that was the police I was hearing. I don't know.
didn't hear the young man say anything until after he was shot. When he was telling him to drop the gun, he was basically saying, "I don't have the gun no more." He's been hit the past, so you
Yeah.
think that, you know.
Right. You telling him to be still, don't move. He on the floor hurting. He told him put the gun down. He's like, I don't have it. That was, that was all a setup for, you know what I mean, for the camera, because he did not have the camera on the man when he was telling him that. So like, what the camera is on your chest or on your shoulder. So if why can't we see him if you're telling him to put the gun down? You should have been pointed down towards him or looking down at him. We should have been able to see something of that. But that was all for the camera to make it seem like there was a reason, a hostile reason. That's why he made it seem like the boy was in the street and he stepped out and caused the problem or whatever. It was part of his cover up that failed drastically.
It's more footage. They just didn't show it to the public.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but that right there showed us that he was non-violent. Gun was not drawn on him. He put his hand up. He followed
He
all.
put his hand up. To me, that meant, hey, hold on, I'm not a threat.
Okay, and if he had to drop the weapon, it was possible that it could have went off and he could have got shot anyway. He didn't give him no chance to do nothing. He could have said, "Grab it with your left hand," or something. I mean, it's like, but then on the other hand, you got to think, okay, these officers go through a lot. They don't know what's good, what's bad. They have a split second to, is it their life or his life? So I think when people are making those fake phone calls and people are lying about violence and domestic violence, they need to start taking this into consideration. They really do. Because just like he didn't pay attention that the gun was down. He didn't pay attention that his hand was not on the trigger. He didn't pay attention that he stepped back and put his hand up in peace. None of that, which means a split second of a lie, which I believe Karen told.
Yeah,
all of that was, huh?
He had a split second to make a decision. Because it was like, to me, it was killed or be killed. That's probably his mind.
Yeah, and that's what the officers basically have to be like with the things that are going on now. So I'm not saying he was right. Not at all am I saying he was right. But I'm saying is people should not make false phone calls about 2 weeks ago. You should have made a phone call 2 weeks ago. And if you're going to call the police on somebody in an apartment, you need to have the exact apartment. You need to know where these people are. Right, because now this man was violent. Say this man was beating this lady up. Say this man unalived this woman next week. Now you have the innocent man unalive and the woman unalive and the man that did it. You know what I'm saying? Because you gave the wrong apartment. So it's so awful. But hold on, y'all. So we gonna close with that. People need to get their story straight. Don't be making up no lies. Don't be calling the police about something that happened 2 weeks ago. Stop giving the wrong apartment number and stop being a damn Karen. Because Karen, this is what Karens do. This is what lies do. This is what false information do. This is what trigger happy people do. This is ridiculous. And at the end of the day, it's another productive black man gone. This family, a whole family is crushed. Do you know this man's family was strong. Look at this. This man's family was strong. This man's family was so strong. And they standing up here strong.
Sheree, you saw the video of the girl that was in the
That's his family. Look.
Oh yeah.
People have lost a good love.
23-year-old, you said.
Yeah, 23. You know why this touched me so much? I have a picture exactly like that. Only different is mine says U.S. Army, his says U.S. Air Force. I was 18, 19, 20, 21, somewhere around that age. Because I had my baby at 21, and then I got out of the military when I had my baby. So I have a picture just like that. That matter of fact, I'm gonna go to my grandmother's and take a, because she won't let me have the picture. But I'm gonna go to my grandmother's and I'm gonna take a picture of my picture like that. The only difference, that picture kind of looks like me from a distance, except for I have glasses on.
I have a cousin that did 2 tours in the United States Army.
I only went to Young Song Seoul, Korea. See, y'all didn't know that, huh? I did. I went to Seoul, Korea.
Yeah, I remember
She
you telling
did
me about that.
24 years
Yeah,
in
no.
the United States Army. You said that's all? Hell, that seems like a lifetime.
Who, me? Yeah.
I thought you said that's all.
Yeah, no, I said that's all I did is Seoul, Korea.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll talk about that another time, but why I ended up getting out. It's a tragic story, but it's something.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that one yet. Yeah, no.
She was
huh?
She was the one that said that she would be in the tank that was in charge of those 50 calibers to come out and shoot. She was also in charge of teaching them how to break down their guns and put them back together.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called, but that was it.
What you talking about? Armory. She was an armory. That's where the guns and stuff are. Let me tell you, I'm an excellent shot, right? I hadn't. So I have a video that I did on here. I don't know if they took it off. I didn't even check, but I have it saved in my tablet. Okay, so I had not picked up a gun, touched a gun, shot a gun, and my son was 25 and like 25, 26, somewhere between 26 and 27 years.
What?
Yeah, I had, since I had got out of the military, I had not picked up a gun, shot a gun.
None of years.
Huh? Nope. Nothing. I just didn't do anything with them. So we went to the gun range. Me, my son, and my son's father. We went to the gun range, and I outshot both of them. And my son to the gun range.
You don't lose that. You don't lose that.
Huh?
You don't lose that itch in you that you're a good shooter.
Yeah.
You lose that, right? No.
Nope. I hit all body, no air. So, but that was like time, that was a liberation for me. That was a process to my healing from my past. All of it, not just that part. But it's a story. But yeah, so that right there just did something to me. This baby, because he is a baby compared to me. My first son is older than him. My first son is 26. This baby in the house talking to his girlfriend.
Is that you, Dree?
No, that's Robbie. Every time she talks, it's making a tapping noise.
Oh, that's probably me. I'm sitting here doing something. Can you hear now? Is it still tapping?
Every time you talk, yeah. Go
Is
ahead,
it
talk
tapping?
again.
Is it
No.
tapping
I
here?
want to ask you, did you want to show them that 12-minute video of the girl that was in the
car?
No, in the cell. Where they left her to die, or the one that was 29-year-old that was pregnant.
Okay.
I mean, that's up to you.
Yeah,
Do
that'll
you
be
want to
good.
put it on this live, or do you want to start another live and do that? Because that's a
I
different
don't know if
story.
they want to. Do y'all want to get? Do they want to get off? Somebody tap and tell me. Do you want to get off and come back on? Yeah, yeah. That's
that's
what
a
we do.
different
12-minute
story.
video that we have.
Yeah, I'll do that so that this one can be in the thing by itself. I'll turn it off and then come back on so that this particular one about Roger can be itself, and then we'll come back up.
You're gonna end this one and we're gonna start another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna start another one. Okay, everybody, we're
Are we
going
right back or later?
We coming right back. I'm good today.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell. Okay, Reed
Okay, you can end this one.
1957
And then
said
do we
just
have to do
stopping
another
in.
StreamYard? Oh no.
What you say, baby?
Do we have to come up on another StreamYard?
I think maybe. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Rika. When you were saying it, I was texting him or her. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't want us not to read nobody.
Share this live, you guys, because we need to start focusing more on our community. We need to start focusing on these things that are happening to them, and these people are getting off willy nilly, as they call it. Again, this was a 23-year-old baby who was an airman, special operations at his duty station, answered his front door because a Karen gave the wrong info to a police officer. I'm going to say intentionally, because turn your camera off, Ed, because I don't see. It just doesn't make sense because it
My
happened.
camera's on.
Yeah.
It's back on now. Turn it off.
Down. Let me drop you down so you can fix it. It's still on, Eb, if you can hear me. Anyway, she gave them the wrong address. She told the police officer, I'm pulling you back up, 4th floor, 1401. The police officer got off on the 3rd floor at 1401. And tragedy struck. It was fourth party information. She says, quote unquote, she says, it happens frequently. Like I heard him calling F you, you stupid B, and I heard a slap. Okay, now pay attention to what I'm going to say. It happens frequently. Last week, this is what happened, Yet and still, she managed to give them the wrong door. In the same breath, I don't know where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? So all this was a sack of lies that the police officer couldn't see through. And they went and disturbed this man who was home, talking to his girlfriend, making plans to meet his girlfriend next week, had just talked to his sister the day before. I listened to this too. Had just talked to his sister the day before. Was supposed to be calling his sister back so they can make some plans. None of this got a chance to happen. This baby never got a chance to experience the Florida life at his duty station. He was there for duty. He was there to work for the United States Air Force. Not to go play thug out. He wasn't a gangbanger or a thug. He was a 23-year-old special operation airman who answered his door with his weapon because a police officer was banging on his door. He's new to this area. Nobody should be knocking on his door. He had every right, and it would have been unsensible for him to come to that door without his weapon, being that he doesn't know anyone there yet. You understand what I'm saying? So Karen ordered the knock of death. And I'm sticking to that. I don't understand anything different. So we need to stop these Karens. These Karens need to be held accountable for their destruction and their lies and their deceit. Okay. Oh, thank Reed, so sweet. She says, you're welcome, lady. Or he or she, I think it's a she. You're welcome, ladies. I love it. Wherever it's peaceful. Love you, ladies. Oh, that's so sweet. But yeah, so that's where we're gonna end. I'm gonna keep track on this. So every now and then I'll try to remember to post and updates. And come right back, because we're gonna come back and we have some very interesting videos to show you. It's gonna be spectacular.
Not long.
Yeah, they're short videos, but they're things that we can see, we can talk about.
They're really
Thank you, Reed. I'm so sorry, baby. I appreciate you. Thank you. Reed 1957 is a woman. And I appreciate you, love. Thank you so much.
Woman.
Yeah, I said because I didn't know if it was a man or a woman. But if it was a man, I didn't want to call you a woman. If it was a woman, I didn't want to call you a man. That's why I was like, So I thank you for telling us. I'm going to be looking for you now. Okay, so we're going to come back, right back. We're going to clock out and clock back in. And we're going to show you these videos.
For this dramatic 12-minute video of how a Black woman was treated in the jail.
Exactly. And these are things that are happening now.
And
Go ahead,
I
baby.
can tell y'all a little something about being in jail because I have did time in jail a couple times. So we'll talk about it
And then
on
I'll
the
tell
next
you.
live.
Thank you, everyone.
Yep. Okay, so I hope you come back, read 1957. Hope to
We'll
see
be
you.
right back.
This one was something that I wanted to focus on specifically for this young man. So I want to say, we pray that justice is served for Roger. I don't
Justice
know
for
how to pronounce his
Roger.
last name, so I will not mess it up. Roger, the U.S. Airman Special Ops 23-year-old whose life was taken way too short because of Karen knock of death. See you guys in a minute.